Good afternoon. Thank you for joining us to the Education Committee. Today is Monday, March 24th, 3:00 p.m. We're in hearing room 229. This meeting, including the audio and video of remote participants, is being streamed live on YouTube. You will find links to viewing options for all Senate meetings on the live and on-demand video page of the legislature's website. This Zoom meeting and YouTube live stream event will include this 3:00 p.m. agenda for the Committee on Education. In the unlikely event that we have to abruptly end this hearing due to major technical difficulties, the committee will reconvene to discuss any outstanding business on Wednesday, March 16th, 2022 at 3:00 p.m. in this conference room, and a public notice will be posted on the legislature's website. I'd like to take this time to remind our testifiers that due to time restrictions on our hearings, we will be limiting testimony to 1 minute per testifier per bill. For people participating remotely, please remain muted and video disabled until shortly before it is your turn to testify. When I call your name, unmute yourself and your time will begin. After your minute is completed, staff will mute you so that we can move this hearing along in an orderly and efficient manner. Mahalo. With us today is our Senators Drew Kanuha and Kurt Favela. I'm sure the other senators will be joining us shortly. And starting with House Bill 1939 HD1 relating to early learning. To testify, we have Colleen Momohara on Zoom. Colleen there, please. Thank you for joining us, Vice Chair Senator Kim. Is there Colleen Momohara? She is not there. Moving on to Kathleen Algier. Kathleen, please go ahead.
Aloha, Chair Kodani and Vice Chair Kim and committee members. Thank you for the opportunity to testify on HB 1939. You have my testimony in support. I just wanted to reiterate how important these two positions are for the Executive Office on Early Learning. They have the programs they oversee are wide, and we feel that having these two positions will help ensure that they can meet their statutory obligations and that all of our early care and learning programs will be supported. Thank you.
Thank you, Kathleen. That is all the testifiers that I have. Is there anyone here in the room that wishes to testify on this measure? And Colleen Momohara is still not present. Is that correct? Thank you. Members, any questions of our testifier? If not, moving on to our next bill. House Bill 1941 HD1 relating to education requires the Department of Education to establish grant programs to provide funds for the planning and implementation of community schools through a 2-year pilot program. To testify, Interim Superintendent Keith Hayashi in person.
Good afternoon, Chair Kodani, Vice Chair Kim, and members of the Senate Committee on Education. I'm Kara Tanimura, Interim Assistant Superintendent for the Office of Strategy, Innovation, and Performance on behalf of Interim Superintendent Keith Hayashi, Department of Education. The department stands on its written testimony in support of focusing on the whole child when providing educational experiences for our students and appreciates the legislature's amendments to implement this program as a 2-year pilot to help gauge current demand. Thank you for the opportunity to testify.
Thank you. On Zoom, we have HSTA Laverne Moore.
Aloha, Chair and members of the committee. Laverne Moore speaking on behalf of Osa Tui Jr., President of the Hawaii State Teachers Association. The Hawaii State Teachers Association supports this bill. Community schools provide not only tremendous opportunities for learning and success for students, but they also offer hope, opportunity, and transformation to entire communities. They are schools built with the understanding that students often come to the classroom with challenges that impact their ability to learn, explore, and develop their greatest potential. Because learning never happens in isolation, community schools provide healthy meals, healthcare, tutoring, mental health counseling, and other tailored services before, during, and after school. The Hawaii State Teachers Association asks your committee to support this bill. Mahalo.
Thank you, Laverne. Is there anyone else wishing to testify on this measure? If not, members, questions? Tara, please. In Superintendent's written testimony, he made note that his concerns are that the grant program that's created by this bill is prescriptive in nature and may not meet the unique needs of its varied, multifaceted communities. Does the department have any amendments that they wish to offer on this bill?
I think I can take this back and meet with superintendent, and we can offer some amendments to make it a little bit more open-ended and flexible.
Okay, yeah, I would appreciate that
Okay.
information. Thank you, Carol.
Yes, thank you.
Moving on, next bill, House Bill 1942 HD1, relating to student transportation, requires the Department of Education to establish a tiered student bus fare rate system to include free bus passes for students and households that qualify for free or reduced lunch under the free and reduced price lunch program, and also appropriate funds. We have no testifiers. I'm sorry. But we have testimony from Superintendent Hayashi. Is Randy online on Zoom? No? Okay. Also, two other comments. Anyone in the room wish to testify on this measure? Members, questions? If not, moving on. House Bill 2248 HD1, relating to schools, amends the definition of private schools under the compulsory attendance law to require unlicensed but accredited private schools to annually submit health and safety documentation to the Hawaii Council of Private Schools or the Hawaii Catholic Schools Office. To testify on Zoom, Phil Bossert, please.
Hi, I'm Chair Kadani and Vice Chair Kim and members of the committee. I want you to know that Act 227, now in its second year, is working very well, and thanks to the legislation that was passed originally. We have discovered this slight deficiency that's a loophole, and we'll stand on our testimony in asking you to support this minor change to the Act.
Thank you, Phil. That's the only person that signed up to testify. Members, questions? Anyone in the audience wish to testify on this measure? Not, moving on. House Bill 2000 HD1, relating to education, appropriates funds to the School Facilities Authority for the construction of preschool facilities. To testify, Sherry Nakamura, please.
Aloha, Chair Kidani, Vice Chairman Kim, and members of the committee, Sherry Nakamura, Director of Pay Coalition. We stand in support of our written testimony. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Sherry. By Zoom, we have Alan Oshima testifying for School Facilities Authority. Hi, Alan.
Hi, Chair Kidani, Vice
You're
Chair
on.
Kim, and members of the committee. We stand on the free file testimony. I am testifying as a member, chair of the SFA board. in place of Ed Sniffen, the designated executive lead who couldn't make it today. We are in support, ask for some flexibility as funding is made available, primarily because just building dedicated preschool facilities may not fit with strategic plans as we build facilities. We are certainly supportive of early education as a part of the school facilities. Thank you.
Thank you, Alan. Next to testify, Colleen Momohara, also on Zoom. Colleen is not there. Next to testify, Laverne Moore for HSTA.
Aloha, Chair and members of the committee. Laverne Moore speaking on behalf of Osa Tui Jr., President of the Hawaii State Teachers Association. The HSTA supports this bill, and I want to say that culturally, our Asian and Pacific Islander children are taught very young to be seen and not heard. This is a time when their brains are being developed, their speech patterns are being developed, and their motor coordination. So allowing us to have preschool for them develops the critical skills needed to be successful in school. HSTA supports this. Mahalo for the opportunity to testify.
Thank you, Laverne. Next to testify, Kathleen Algar, also on Zoom.
Aloha, Chair and Vice Chair. You have my testimony in support. We just ask for clarification. The way that the bill is currently written, it just says preschool programs. We know that through Act 46, the expansion of early care and learning programs is going to take both our public preschool programs and then also early care and learning programs and other facilities like in the libraries. And so we're asking for the committee to consider replacing the term preschool and using something that's more inclusive, which is early care and learning programs instead. Thank you.
Thank you, Kathleen. And she is testifying on behalf of Hawaii Children's Action Network Speaks. Next to testify, Hawai'i Burgess, Kamehameha Schools on Zoom. Aloha, Kaui.
Oh, aloha. Aloha,
Go ahead.
Chair Kidani, Vice Chair Kim, and members of the committee. I'm Hawai'i Burgess, Director of Community and Government Relations at Kamehameha Schools, and I'm here to testify on behalf of KS in support of HB 2000 HD1 because, we're all aware that Act 46 of 2020 and Act 210 of 2021 were pivotal in ensuring that every child in Hawaii gets access to quality early learning. And so our request is that we remain steadfast in our commitment to achieve the state's benchmarks that were set in these acts. And since the start of the pandemic, Hawaii has lost over 3,600 preschools and at least, preschool seats and at least 6 preschools and many more family child care providers. And so we believe that Hawaii's keiki just deserve better. So we ask for your support of HB 2000 HD1. Mahalo nui.
Mahalo, Kaui. That concludes the testifiers. Is there anyone in the room that wishes to provide testimony? If not, members, are there any questions of the testifiers? If not, that concludes our hearing, and I'm going to go into the breakout room, please. Thank you. So the recommendation of the committee on these bills before us for House Bill 1939 HD1, recommendation is to pass with amendments. We are going to defect the date to July 1, 2051. And the reason to defect the date is basically to look at the appropriations amount and how it fits into the budget. Questions, members?
Okay, recommendation is to pass House Bill 1939 HD1 with amendments. A chair votes aye, Vice Chair votes aye. Senator De La Cruz is excused. Senator Kanuha.
Aye.
Senator Favela.
Aye.
With 4 members present, all voting aye, recommendations adopted.
Thank you, members. Next bill, House Bill 1941 HD1. Recommendation of the chair is to defer decision-making to Wednesday, March 23rd in this room, 229 at 3:00 p.m. House Bill 1942 HD1, same recommendation, defer decision-making to Wednesday, March 23rd in this room, 229 at 3:00 p.m. For House Bill 2248 HD1 relating to schools to amend the definition of private schools under the compulsory attendance law. Recommendation is to pass with amendments defecting the date to July 1st, 2051. Members, questions? If not, chair votes aye.
Chair votes aye on House Bill 2248, House Draft 1. Vice Chair votes aye. Any members here present voting in opposition? Any members voting with reservations? And with Senator De La Cruz being excused, recommendations adopted.
Thank you. And the final bill, House Bill 2000 HD1. Recommendation of the chair is to pass with amendments to defect the date to July 1, 2051. Also noting in the committee report that charter schools should also be considered with regard to pre-K facilities. Members, questions? Chair votes aye.
Chair votes aye on House Bill 2000 HD1. Passed with amendments. Any member voting with reservations? Any members voting in opposition? Hearing none, with 1 member being excused. Senator De La Cruz, your recommendations adopted.
Thank you. This concludes our hearing.